question that we hear most often is, so where do I start? And guarantee it, every time I meet with a customer, the first thing they ask me is, and I say to you, what are the problems that you're having? The answer is, we don't know where to start. And that's kind of where we come in, and it is very, very important that customers take not a detailed trajectory, or have a detailed trajectory from the very, very outset, but they take that very, very necessary first step before they worry about what the next steps are. So they take their first step on their journey. For us, and for many customers, we find that transitioning to net zero is a process. So we take customers through this wheel, which starts with the engagement piece, and what is climate change and how you can make a difference. Alignment, getting different parts of the business involved and making sure that everybody's aligned in what they're trying to achieve, and deciding what they are trying to achieve, what their ambition is. When do you want to be net zero, and what the enablers and blockers to achieving your aim. We then help them with the baseline and trajectory, put it all together into a plan, and ultimately the most important piece of all of this, executing on that plan and making sure that everybody is on board with making sure that plan comes to fruition. Yeah. It's very much as I say, a 6-step process. The first half of that, the first 3 steps, is very, very much what we consider to be hearts and minds, before you start to move into the practicalities and the reality of putting that plan into place. I work with a number of stakeholders who have an interest in net zero. I was just talking to one of you guys a moment ago about this. And it never ceases to amaze me when I speak to and get into an organisation how many parts of the business net zero touches without the business realising it does it. It's very, very easy to think, oh, net zero, yeah, we need a net zero supply chain. Undoubtedly, that's a large part of people's carbon footprint, and an important part of mitigating those emissions from the supply chain are a big part of what you need to do. But I also, when I get in front of a room, I find myself talking to HR who suddenly got interested in net zero because they want to attract the right talent into their business. Amongst graduates, Gartner, who produce obviously market intelligence, well respected, estimate that around about 74% of graduates from university these days want to work for a sustainable business. It's hugely important. We see people in marketing who want to get involved with the net zero pathway. Clearly, selling products and selling your business out into the wider world comes with a very, very positive message if you've got a nice sustainability message that goes alongside what you produce. So marketing like to have a say. Legal, looking at business risks, looking at opportunities, wanting to get involved in the net zero pathway. So it's not just those who you think are the obvious person who needs to get involved in sustainability, but we like to engage with as many stakeholders as we can across an organisation to make sure that we're meeting all of their targets. They've all got very, very different hands in this, and it's about making sure that they're all served, everybody feels part of the journey, and making sure that they can all see what the benefits are of that transition to net zero. It brings huge benefits to all of them. It also helps the poor person within the business who's been saddled with sustainability. We often find that the person who's been saddled with sustainability doesn't have it as a main job. It often goes alongside something else that they've been asked to do. It could be quality assurance, it could be health and safety. We see a lot of health and safety people who also have sustainability, strangely, as part of their job remit. And clearly those people need help to be able to put together a strategy which encompasses the wider business and makes sure that all of these different stakeholders' ambitions are met when it's not necessarily the sole focus of what they do. It's one of those challenges which we help to overcome. When it comes to setting the ambition, we like to understand what the customer's about, and this is something that all businesses should consider when considering a net zero transition. Where do they want to be? Are they looking for a purely compliance form of form of sustainability, whereby they're just in it to comply with regulations. You take away the business risk of not submitting your ESOS report on time or your SECRA report on time, and that's really the kind of the bare minimum that customers are doing these days. These are box ticking customers. We prefer those who are looking for a proper sustainability transformation, those who are trying to look at new products that they can produce, that grow through a sustainable business model by working with the right partners, that are interested in the whole ecosystem and partnerships, and making sure that everyone grows together and the carbon footprint is tackled that way. And they're ultimately looking to differentiate themselves from the competitors. They're looking for a USP. Sounds very grandiose. And when we actually look at it in a little bit more detail, and you get down to the why,